Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, make videos for NFL. All these videos they get posted on this subreddit right here. It's called DF Sports with one S. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day because, a lot of stuff does change from these videos. So this will be linked down below. But yeah, with all the updates I make, you can ask me questions about the slate too. Pretty important. So that'll be linked down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter. These are my ads right here. But fastest way to reach me, definitely just commenting, and I'll reply to you there as long as it's, not something personal that you need to talk to me about. So going over my lineup today, just an ugly night. I show you guys my results every single night, so you can gauge how I'm doing as a player, so you can gauge if the content's good. And yeah, so Jeremy Sochan was projecting to be the highest owned play on the slate, or one of the highest owned. So I thought Sadiq Bey and Sochan were very, very similar plays in my opinion. So I went with Sadiq Bey over Jeremy Sochan. That obviously did not work out. I obviously played LaMelo. He was a really, really, really good play today. I obviously played DeJounte Murray. He was a smash. And then obviously once Nick Richards got rolled out, I'm gonna play PJ Washington at the 5. Anyone who faded him, you got away with murder. And then Bogdan Bogdanovic, just floor game from him. Okongwu even had a floor game. They dusted off Patty Mills today. They didn't really play Okongwu and Capella alongside each other that much with one less body in the rotation. He still got the minutes. I think he still played 27 minutes tonight. 26, just had, a bit of a bad game for his standards. Did he get into foul trouble? I see 5 fouls, but I don't know if he got into foul trouble or not. And then obviously Malcolm Brogdon. I told everyone in my Discord, I said, Malcolm Brogdon's going to be the best play on the slate if Simons got ruled out. So pretty much all of us, we played Malcolm Brogdon. He's absolutely punishing the faders, as he should. He was the best play on the slate at this ownership. He should have been 100% owned today with no Simons. He was an absolute smash. So, just pretty unfortunate. Zion, okay, so I was debating a lot of plays for. I was landing on this weird spot for forwards. Like, I really wanted LaMelo. I really wanted Murray. I really wanted PJ. I really wanted Bog. I really wanted Okongwu, and I really wanted Brogdon. So that left 2 spots. And I was deciding between Sochan and Bey. Obviously, you guys know how that went. And then I was at a weird spot, right? I needed a forward. I was debating Jimmy Butler, Zion. I don't think I had the money for. Who am I thinking of? I don't remember, but it was Jimmy, Zion, Mikal Bridges. I could have moved Sadiq Bey to power forward. I don't think I had the money for Ingram. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I did. Or just eating some salary and going down to Jeremy Grant, which that I was debating on Zion or Jeremy Grant. And Jeremy Grant's already outscoring Zion a half, so yeah. But yeah, not the best days. But my core today, LaMelo Ball, DeJounte Murray, smash. PJ Washington, smash. Bogdan Bogdanovic, Onyeka Okongwu, did good. So, like, core was good. I just didn't put any good pieces around my core. But my night slate's core is just absolutely nuking. My night slate core today was Anthony Davis, he's smashing. Brogdon, nuke. Jeremy Grant, nuke. D'Angelo Russell, nuke. And then I told everyone I really, really like Pascal Siakam for tournaments. He's nuking as well. So, like, hopefully night slate will be good. But main slate was definitely a disaster for me. Hopefully you guys had a good night. All right, let's get into this 7-game slate, I believe, for tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I kind of hated the way they were splitting up slates. I don't even know if there's a late game tomorrow that they took off, but I'm kind of growing into taking the late games off of the main slates, which I don't even know if there's a late game tomorrow after Utah and Houston, but I'm kind of growing into it because big slates, I like 13-game slates. It's just a mess. So kind of growing into it. Definitely let me know how you guys feel about the getting like 7-game slates every day instead of like 13, right? Let me know how you guys feel on that, because I was really, really against it when they first started doing it, but it's kind of warmed my heart a little bit. Not gonna lie. All right, let's go over the slate. So, really, really good spot for the Spurs. We have Zach Collins out for tomorrow, so I would assume Dominic Barlow would be starting at the 5 for them. If that's the case, I think he's going to stand out as pretty good value. Sandro Mamukelashvili will get the backup 5. He would be your tournament play between those two. And then, yeah, good spot. I mean, I'm pretty high on the main guys here. Devin Vassell, Trey Jones, Jeremy Sochan. I like 3 a lot. I think Sochan's going to be really, really popular tomorrow, especially after his game tonight. I mean, he's been producing with Wemby in. Now you have Wemby out. He turns from like 0.85 to like 0.93, I want to say, fantasy points per minute with Wemby off the court. He gets a rebounding boost as well. He's stuffing the stat sheet, so yeah, he's just too cheap. He's going to be really popular tomorrow, but I have no issue with it. I think he looks great. Champaigne, he's viable, but he's not going to play a ton of minutes. I thought it was a really bad play today. We'll see what his ownership comes in tomorrow. And then Keldon. I think Keldon is your tournament pivots. Like, nobody wanted him tonight. Everyone went to, like, guys like Vassell. Trey Jones was higher owned. Jeremy Sochan was higher owned. It's like, Keldon, I'm definitely interested for tournaments as well. She'll play 30 minutes off the bench. He'll be really high usage off the bench as well. So, like, there definitely is a good amount to like here for the Spurs, and it scares me. But, yeah, not going to get to any of the value there for them. And then, yeah, I like Trey Jones as well. Moving on to Washington. So, good spot here. And you guys know, in competitive games, when they're playing well, they're going to extend their guys. Like, if you want to game stack this game, I'm completely okay with it. Usually I never game stack, but I think it's completely fine here. We'll keep an eye on Gafford news. So I thought the industry really underprojected Marvin Bagley's minutes last game. He was only projected for like 26 minutes, and I was, no way going up against the Knicks. Especially, they have nobody behind him. They can play Denny backup 5. They can play Kuzma backup 5. They just have no one behind Bagley. So if Gafford's out, I like Bagley. Once again, a good spot. He should be able to do really well in the spot. So I don't know if we can expect 40 minutes again. Different matchup as well, but I would assume he plays at least high 20s minutes. Still a bit too cheap, so I would like Bagley a good amount. And then I'm interested in Kuzma, Tyus, Denny, Poole, all these guys for tournaments. They're going to run their guys pretty tight rotation in competitive close games. So one of these guys is probably going to have a big game. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I think they're definitely intriguing for tournaments. I think Denny is probably your safest bet. He probably looks the best point per dollar, him or Poole. Kuzma would be your ceiling play of the bunch, also playing huge minutes. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in this Washington team tomorrow, especially if Gafford's out. If Gafford's in, we'll see. But, yeah, Koulibaly, his minutes getting cooked. If you think the game blows out, he'll get extended. I don't know if I'm going to play like a Corey Kispert on this slate. I think we'll just have better value. Moving on to Philly. So it's just a smash spot here. Joel Embiid, I would expect him to be full go here in a back-to-back. He did not play the 4 tonight, so yeah, absolutely love Joel Embiid. He's the best spin up on the slate. Not even close. Not even close, in my opinion. I think Donovan Mitchell's right up there, but like between SGA and Embiid, anyone above 10K, it's only 2 guys. It's not even close. I absolutely love Joel Embiid going up against the Charlotte Hornets. He should be able to feast, especially if they put like a Mensa on him, a PJ Washington, right? So love Joel Embiid here. Tyrese Maxey, interesting for tournaments, but I would say he's priced right. Fast-paced spot here. We know he thrives in those types of matchups. More tournament play at that price point. Tobias Harris is overpriced, but I mean he's been playing extremely well this year. But yeah, I would say he's overpriced. Kelly Oubre should play around 30 minutes. He played a bit in the blowout tonight. He'll be very low usage while he's out there. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris are just dominating usage. He does have a ceiling when he's hitting his shots, but I'd say he's priced right. Batum has carved out a very solid role. 5.2K, I'd say a bit overpriced. And then if Springer and them continue to be out, you're going to see a bit of Patrick Beverley, but once again, I would say a bit overpriced. Moving on to Charlotte. So we'll keep an eye on Nick Richards. We'll keep an eye. So if they have everyone out that was out tonight, that is out again, I was kind of looking at the rotation here. We saw PJ Washington get in a massive foul trouble. He was on pace to play a ton. Now, I don't know what they're going to do here. Are they going to start PJ up against Embiid at the 5? Not entirely sure. But assuming everyone's out, again, I mean, I'm interested in LaMelo for tournaments. I think Rozier and Bridges are fine. But the main guys that are going to get bumps here, like Brandon Miller played close to 40 minutes tonight. He'd be solid. P.J. Washington, if he starts at the 5, he can stay out of foul trouble. I'd like quite a bit. If for some reason they start like a Mensa at the min price, viable, solid value, going to be very low usage, but going up against Embiid will just kill him. Cody Martin, I don't know if I get to. How many minutes he finished with tonight? 25. I mean, I guess it's doable. And then the main interest here would be like, LaMelo, sub 9K, PJ, Miller, Rozier, Bridges are fine as well. Not as good of plays as they were today. Definitely a completely different matchup here. Just keep an eye on the news. If we get a situation where Nick Richards is in, then, downgrade Miller, downgrade PJ. Mensa would be out of play. There wouldn't be too much here for Charlotte. Moving on to Cleveland, so we have Karis LeVert doubtful. So the main benefiter of that, or main benefiters, is going to be Sam Merrill, maybe some Georges Niang, Max Strus. Like Sam Merrill, I'm expecting decent minutes off the bench. I think he's fine, solid value, so I like Merrill quite a bit. What else? I think Donovan Mitchell's probably my second favorite spin up on this slate. He's just doing everything for this team. He had 55 fantasy points at a huge blowout last game up against Milwaukee. Good spot up against Atlanta. We'll see if Trae Young's going to be available, but he's playing close to 40 minutes a game. I love Donovan Mitchell. Jared Allen, I think, is pretty good as well. Good spot going up against Atlanta. They're running offense through him as well. His rebounding numbers have been absolutely insane. His rates are just insane right now with no Mobley, so I have no issue if you want to play him. Max Strus, I like his ceiling. It just comes down to if he hits his shots. I know he's been pretty bad of late, but the ownership will probably be low. And then, like I said, with LeVert out, I think Merrill's a good value. I don't know if I get to guys like Dean Wade or Isaac Okoro on this slate. I mean, they're fine, but I think the main guy I'm looking to there for ceiling would be Merrill. And then Niang will get a bump as well. He's playable for value with no LeVert. Excuse me. Let's move on to Atlanta. So it all comes down to Trae. I haven't seen anything. It's an illness. I know they kind of take it easy on guy with illnesses, so we'll keep an eye on there. But you guys know what to do. If Trae Young's out, then DeJounte Murray is going to look like one of the best plays in the mid-range. Bogdan Bogdanovic, you have to have short-term memory in DFS. I do not care that he had a bad game tonight. I will probably go right back to him. Hopefully the ownership lowers. He gets an insane usage bump with no Trae Young. So I would really like Bog once again. Jalen would be fine at 7-2. Capella, Congo. I'd still like a Congo at 4-8. Like I said, they dusted off Patty Mills tonight. Unbelievable stuff. And then Sadiq Bey would be solid. I would like him as a bounce back. He would just have to play huge minutes. Today definitely massive floor game for him. So yeah, Trae Young is pretty important there. If he plays, I don't like much here. Trae's fine. The bigs, they didn't play alongside each other much tonight. I don't know if that was because of Congo got into some foul trouble or not. I'm not entirely sure there, but they dusted off, like I said, Patty Mills. Pretty unappealing team if Trae plays. Moving on to Toronto, so not a good spot going up against the Knicks, but Scotty finally had a big game last game. This is his ceiling, although Emmanuel quickly does have the highest usage rate on this team ever since coming over. So, like both the main guys here, RJ Barrett, he's also been on another level of late. I have no issue if you want to play him. I would say he's getting to the price point where I think he should be. I think I'd rather just play like Quickly or Scotty. And then, keep an eye on this. So, Toronto closed with Bruce Brown. They went small ball to close. Now, I don't know if this is going to continue to be their closing lineup here, but it is interesting to see. So if they're going to keep closing with this lineup, I would say Gary Trent's minutes are pretty secure. The main guys, obviously, like Scotty Barnes, Manuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, their minutes are going to be really, really secure. But if they're going to continue to close small like that, it's going to hurt like the bigs. I still think Jonte Porter's in play. Guy can just not stay out of foul trouble, by the way. And then Boucher got dusted off last game. He was playing really well, so we got extended. And then I think Gary Trent is in a nice spot for a bounce back. If they're going to continue to close with that small ball lineup, I think his minutes are pretty secure. And then Bruce Brown played 25 minutes. Last game closed with him. Shot the ball really well. Just a tournament play for me. But yeah, let's move on to the Knicks. So we'll keep an eye on Josh Hart news. That's going to impact a lot for this team. So if Josh Hart's in, Brunson Randall, I think are good tournament plays. They're playing huge minutes, stuff in the stat sheet, doing pretty much everything for this team. So I think they're both solid. Hartenstein, going up against Jonte Porter, etc. Potentially a small ball lineup, playing huge minutes. I still think is a solid play at 6'8". OG's playing huge minutes right now. He's very, very safe at 5.9K, like 43 minutes, 43 minutes. So, yeah, I like OG with the amount of minutes he's playing. So, if Josh Hart's out, I do like Dante. He played 38 minutes last game. He had a pretty bad game for the minutes he got. He's normally, like, about a fantasy point per minute player. So, definitely had a bit of a down game. I mean, I guess he hit his medium projection, but 38 minutes last game. So I like Dante if Josh Hart's out. If Josh Hart's in, I don't think I get to either of them. Josh Hart, I guess, should play high 20s minutes, would be fine. Would just make Dante a bit more riskier. And then they ran a 7-man rotation. Like, Quentin Grimes got some minutes off the bench, but they didn't play anyone else. Miles McBride only played 8 minutes. I believe I have it up. Fournier played 5. Precious played 9, but they basically ran like 6-man rotation there. So, with the amount of minutes these guys are going to play, if Josh Hart's out, you're definitely going to have some interest in the Knicks tomorrow. All right, moving on to Memphis. So last game they went with the starting lineup of Luke Kennard, Vince Williams, John Conchar, Luke Kennard, Vince Williams, John Conchar, Jaren Jackson Jr., Xavier Tillman. Now, I don't know if they go with the same starting lineup again because John Conchar was a DNP the game prior. But he played a good amount of minutes. I did not expect him to play that many minutes. So if we get a starting John Conchar and if we can expect similar minutes at this price point, I do like him for value. I don't know if we get that again, but that's going to hurt Zaire. If Zaire starts, you can play him for value. Just keep an eye on what they do with the starting lineup there. If Luke Kennard continues to start at the point, I think he's very, very safe at 5.2K. Jaren's just going to have to do everything for this team. I like his ceiling for tournaments. And then Vince Williams, stuff in his stat sheet, playing 40 minutes a night, very, very safe. And then Tillman playing big minutes as well. I like him quite a bit as 5.3K. So I like these Memphis guys once again here. GG got absolutely trolled last game, but more of a tournament play. Would I be shocked if they go back to him? No. I think he got benched because he played bad. Not entirely sure there. Gilliard to be in the rotation. Roddy will be in the rotation, but I don't know if it's necessary to go to those guys. And they also played Santi Aldama a decent amount. If I knew he played 25 minutes again, I would like him a lot for value, but I am not convinced he plays that much again. The bench guys are definitely tricky to nail down for Memphis. I think they're kind of going to just do whatever there. All right, who's ready? Cheap bowls, no Levine, so this is going to be fun. Andre Drummond probable, Ayo Dosunmu probable, and Patrick Williams is questionable. So with Levine out, DeMar Vooch, Kobe White all look good. Whoever's lowest owned will probably be the one I'd like to go to. They all look pretty similar to me, point per dollar, but I think they're all three too cheap, especially with Levine out. So I like 3 of the main bulls here. Alex Caruso playing 30 minutes a game right now, very, very safe, but I would say is priced right. And then with Levine out, I would assume, the biggest benefiters are going to be like Ayo Dosunmu, Alex Caruso. Might see a little bit of Dalen Terry, but we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. I think Ayo would be the main benefit of that, and you could see him play big minutes, especially if Patrick Williams is out. So I do like Ayo for value with Levine out. Like him quite a bit. All right, moving on to OKC. So this news is pretty important. It's a bad matchup going up against Minnesota, but if Lou Dort's out again, it's going to solidify the minutes for Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey, if he plays 30 minutes again, I do like him. So if Dort's in, then, it makes him a lot riskier. But tough matchup up against Minnesota. SGA more of a contrarian play for me. Same with Chet, same with Jalen. Giddey depends on Dort. I'm not going to mess with the OKC value there. Moving on to Minnesota. So I like Ant once again at 8-4. He had like 2 fantasy points at half last game. Just unbelievable. I played him on night slate, but he's too cheap. So yeah, Ant looks really good there. Cat, Gobert, I think are fine. I prefer Cat to Gobert. Mike Conley at 5-7 had a big game last game, but definitely a bit of an outlier. And McDaniels is priced right. You'll see Nas, you'll see Slow-Mo off the bench, but I think we'll have better value. Nas is at least playable. Because if anything happens to Gobert or Cat, he'll get extended. He'll be in the rotation anyway, and he's such a good point per minute guy. Like, he still does have a ceiling. So I am fine with Nas either way. All right, last game of the night. So this team is it's just hard to gauge. The only guys I trust on this team right now are Markkanen, Clarkson, and Sexton. I think all are good tournament plays. Clarkson, Sexton, they're going to play around 30 minutes. Markkanen's going to play huge minutes in competitive games. He's their go-to guy. He's doing everything for this team. He'll probably be low owned. And then Clarkson, Sexton, only three guys I trust on this team. Everyone else they're going to go with the hot hand with. So John Collins. They have a bunch of bigs on this roster. They're going to go with either Collins, Walker Kessler, Kelly Olynyk. They're going to go with the hot hand there. At their price points, one of these guys is going to have a big game. Like, they're all really, really cheap. So I am intrigued by these three for tournaments. Chris Dunn not playing a ton right now, so more of a tournament-only play for me. Keontae George, they're also going to go with the hot hand with, so it's really tough to gauge. I think my main interest is the bigs. Like, Walker Kessler, if you give him 20 or so minutes at this price point, he could smash. Kelly Olynyk, he'll be in the rotation. He'll play teens minutes, but if he gets extended, he could smash. So I am intrigued by the Utah value here, but they're more tournament-only plays because they're going to go with the hot hand. All right, moving on to Houston. I mean, I really, really like Fred VanVleet at 7.3K. Playing 40 minutes a night, doing everything, stuffing the stat sheet. So, yeah, fire up some Fred. I think he looks good. Sengun is solid. Prefer the price point on Fred. And then the price points here, like Jabari Smith, 5.8K, no Tari Eason. He should have big, big minutes. You know, good rebounder, can do a bit of everything. I have no issue with him. Jalen Green at 5.6K, I like his ceiling. What else? Dylan Brooks at 4.7. I mean, you know, Utah does give up a ton of shooting stats, and he's playing decent minutes, so I have no issue with Dylan Brooks. I don't know if I get to anyone else, though. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video. I hope you guys had a great night tonight, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.